Me assure say be say na kakra ni documents bi ni ndam wiem me dia me makan bi me kan wie ye no me se dia aka ne yenya manyame because o ka say o comment wo ho a wan hwe a o be ka akoka de enkanti me say document no I va ni na be comment because me comment ya hwe a me ka de ni se be ka so ade ade UK any say crofo bi wo no mo do mo ya association na wo mo ya lawyer fo e no mo ti UK o and wa matro krata de abre ye president aye ya to ababa ne wokroma say chief justice won reinstate no on san fa na djuma ma no na wo hwe wo mo nyina so ne ne ma wo keka ye na ete say wo mo te fence wall so no person mo detective ma ye wo Ghana garden ni mo ti sa na etiem innocent your take on that.
Yeah, they come mention na mention what here for na mention ni so e share ya che
pao ena me share na me come
it's good to be back.
Yes.
And mechia more share so I think that be me can say globally, you know, we are interconnected.
Yeah,
you need a mind be isolated from the global way. Because say me baby me ya dia me pet.
Sure.
One nation a bit me can say oh no yeah fully isolated crowd no North Korea crying. He's trying to build allies, and Russia, China, and other people are trying to. So, which means globally, you know, we are all interconnected.
Yeah.
So, very often it's a situation, and never be AC or other country, wherever you find yourself, you know, you have every right to comment. And now, bet you what and as a forum, but you must also know or limit and some of the things. And a whole lot of stuff, and this will be a lawyer. I don't care whether they are Commonwealth, whichever lawyer be, and now we are dissatisfied with maybe the way a manner near my air qua or quine. So waiting actually wife say, oh, I did with me to say and say okay, yes say. But to go to the extent of issuing a command, trying to ask somebody, commanding somebody, say, oh man, some kind of like within a specified period, say that person also no other person than the president or mindful for Obama. No.
Yeah.
And initially, never, I thought that these people still see Ghana as some sort of a colonial trophy. At any point in time, no be able to me at baby. But I think that me kind let never no. I think that they are very ignorant of Ghana's constitutional reality and motivate you more for them to write this particular thing because Obia Wenya go through the constitution.
Yeah.
Yet let us agree. And you be okay with the Chief Justice removal. That is a fact. We are Ghana near wherever. But you see, me say the processes as has been activated thus far, no, there hasn't been any constitutional infringement. Because me Ghana Bar Association Babontin and they made a lot of noise, but none of them was able to pinpoint to exact infringement because process now is not a novelty. It has been applied. Matese Binum said this is the first time Chief Justice, but you see, in the Constitution, you know, such categorization is not there. It's not about the Chief Justice, but the occupant of all offices at that particular level.
Yeah.
And EC boss and other people, no, Omunina replace them at the same pedestal. So in the previous time, those people have gone through the same process. So whether the current constitutional arrangement is fair or not fair, no, that is the rules of engagement. A lot of people have gone through. You may have issues with the process, but zooming in the woman process now you're subjecting it to know any novelty. A month for go through and the suspension now. Omoka Hwasamsa President Mahama a suspended on Fanomrano. Is it grounded in law or is it not grounded in law? And I remember we are a constitutional provision which is Article 146, 10A. It says whenever a premier facia is established, not a president or set up a committee to investigate the ongoing proceedings. Now, at that point, you know, the president has a discretion to exercise, and that discretion is that either say about consulted the Council of State, no sign a warrant to suspend the Chief Justice to sit aside while investigation goes on, and answer and at this point, you know, people are seeking to create impressions. Say, "Mamana ya pamono, obiam pamono," and because investigation crowd will do say yeah be a war. Say oh. Yeah, proceed on leave.
Yeah.
Investigation unless you don't have trust in the process ongoing. The process may go against you. But that is a normal practice that is done everywhere. So I don't see where all this noise is coming from. And the very person who started this whole thing is the Chief Justice herself. She has been fighting this here and there, and very often court and I got into a point that I see says she's doing what you call this judicial shopping or court shopping because you see, issues not the court, you know.
Oh, yeah. Judicial shopping.
Yeah, shopping for that kind of because as I'm not the court high your fence Supreme Court and yeah, you know, you're about to go. What's on the second one? Yeah, and then a portions of that particular way was sent to High Court, and the High Court catch it and said no, I say because issues now what they call Supreme Court and the same issues no na dia bahaya yedi ho asem until we cannot allow the court process to be abused until that particular way no omobotu guye one thing no ho say or they call ECOWAS she's so it means that she is using all the appropriate courtesies available obiansi in ho kwan way so I think that it's quite childish. So Obi or no external body what's in the baby will give such an instruction to you can advise, you can express your opinion, but to give a command, say the president should bring the woman back. And the question is, have you read the constitutional provision that give the president says when there he has that particular power to exercise, and now say you don't respect the constitution, and now say you think that malice or something is going on. You understand? So I think that some of these things, you know, some of these people sit elsewhere and they think that they can manipulate her because yet about resources and they don't come anywhere close to us. We have everything that it takes. Even when it comes to human resources, the youthful population of Ghana, Europe, they don't even have it. If you go to Germany, they are aging. That is why they are importing a lot of young people to go. In America, it's the same thing. But Africa, we are so damned to the stand that we don't recognize the creative ingenuity of young people. Resources na yenyane from mefana mfa na saa ne manintino they still see us as slaves yenim nyansa yenim de so people can sit anywhere and manipulate us because yet I understand your resources na you want you put it to good use na young person at krom ha or okay because we have all the resources they can live their dream and people will not be rushing to UK and other places to see greener pasture as well because what resources a resource rich country like Africa like Ghana why do we have to rush all the way to go and be slaves in other people's land go to UAE young ladies in their 20s in their 30s all airport or travel all the way to your friends saying Arab countries. Treatment now I spoke to a lady. I say madam war science man and according to her many of them die. Nobody even know their whereabouts. You understand? So I think that these are some of the realities that we need to wake up to. Resources now we putting it to good use. Now listen to a lot of conversation. I'm for Trump attempts or by USAID were Trump. You see, Trump is a reality. It's a wake-up call for we the Africans. Because it's not all the time that some of these foreign powers will be giving you freebies and you sit here. Over Ghana, all the expensive SUVs, as I see, America, even the senators cannot buy. You know, we are using them here. But that would be for US by now. I say about Ghana cars over who even in America he doesn't see those cars. Expensive cars, your border watch and now the ketwa. But our people are languishing in poverty. Our people some cannot even find 2 square meals a day to build themselves. You understand? So I think that these things are reality. Where we are as a people. Now who say we must begin to get our priorities right. And yes, sir. Now, if we continue to live our life the way we are doing here, these people will sit somewhere and still see as some sort of some colonial trophy. We are waking up. Any nonsense at all, no betting on you and expect say you follow same. And that is the reason why I am worried about this whole thing. Me, it is not about the wedding, it is not about test or money, but the thinking behind it. The M3 to say, I am commanding the president of another country to do ABC. And not just that, the whole kind of wedding, the tone, and as a form. Which is a Sabian, because some now movies again, I must say, you're making sure that the timeline, this whole process must be communicated to the Chief Justice. What kind of Ghana Constitution now? There is no specification as to when the committee should do it well. The president even doesn't have the power to control them. Say, within 1 week, you give them all the freedom in the world just to ensure that the necessary investigations and everything that they have to do, will be verified. Evidence be presented must have evidential value. Everything standing the test of prosecution. I know the day say woman anytime issue the caucus. You know say the process has been dealt with sufficiently. And all these things has given them that sufficient and ample time. So it is not up to an external body somewhere to tell us, you draw your a frame now, you're making sure time is communicated. Again, I say the lawyers will be and I'm not sure the Chief Justice has gone to the room to say, or the lawyers will be a permanent. You see, I think that I'm for we to feed the bigger picture here. Prior to the elections, we all saw how dirty our judiciary became in this country. But yes, subject of public mortification on various social media platforms. Unanimous this, unanimous that. You can just sit and predict the outcome of the judiciary and then the ruling. As for judiciary, ruling Bible and say ordinary person can sit and say, I the ruling with the answer in him. Or catch them say, my birth certificate ain't enough to vindicate my nationality. Now, traveling document, which is a passport. You see, it's a common sense and you're common to everybody. So these are some of the things that man for your worried. And again, the judicial tampering and the packing of the court and so forth. So Ghanaians became so much concerned. Said, no, your judiciary, we needed to do something about it. I don't know, give you right to some of these things. And this is the fact that some people send a petition. Yes, it is true. And some now more can't our petition. I think that the Chief Justice must spend all her time responding to the in some rather than fighting the procedures, these trivialities around. Oh yes, Anna, you are painting a picture so you are guilty because you have no response to the issues that have been peddled against you. So I'm speaking to the issue, explaining why I'm in Yantomona. I didn't know about TV, so now I'm fan court. No one say, you are preaching to the people, so you are guilty because you have no defense. But if I know, say, I didn't do that particular thing, I catch him with this car, I will explain to you why I'm in this car. I'll go to the committee and explain myself. And Charlotte Say and co, other people who were subjected to similar processes went through the same thing. This is not the first time a president has suspended you. The last time I catch Justice Derry, when Anas accused them, and a premier facie was established. They were suspended by President Akufo Addo pending investigation. Akufo Addo signed a warrant and dismissed all of them. And you're saying, former Shraj boss went through the same process. So this is not a novelty unless the woman is telling us this whole thing is a novelty. And again, I was shocked when the Chief Justice made a request. He said, this whole thing, Yamfamra TV. So now maybe someone say, Mami, or a lawyer, because this person is supposed to be a lawyer, and she knows that particular provision in our constitution, nobody can waive it, not even the court, not even the Supreme Court. And as I walk in Amadou JSC ruling, I read that particular ruling throughout. He made it clear, Sir Adiana constitutional framework say I'm heading in camera no. It is not because I a privilege for whoever or seeking the court. For the people of this country, but there are certain things that won't mean for metanabonting agency. So they wanted to protect the sanctity of the court. And untina, you're making it enshrined in the constitution. The Supreme Court ain't need power to waive. We need to do a referendum Ghana for on top and another constitutional amendment and sign it such ruling will be shown on camera. So for a whole Chief Justice to make a request to a court to say TVs, and then you begin to wonder where that particular mind is coming from. You understand? So I think that this whole process here, Akoto, involving the Chief Justice, whole lot of weaknesses has come to bear. And for me, I am very disappointed going forward. And I think that the people we select to the apex court of the land, we must be very careful and see say nipa na oyedo omokono really they deserve in recent times. And I think that the politics is becoming too much. I know a lot of people on the offense that the Supreme Court on the offense that your judicial numa because they've been given some partisan colorization. And acquire politics. So yes, if you don't talk to any line, so all the promotions and appointment that is coming, depending on how you stand across the political, that is what they do. So at the end of the day, the very people with the enough competence and that intellectual weight to be able to give us all the details that we need so far as interpretation of our laws are concerned, these people, bypass more, then we promote some of these push over intellectuals to these higher positions. And at the end of the day, it will come at a cost for us. Because we are Ghana, now we emotions free. Now we politics free. Now we hear the argument of the Chief Justice on TV. You will be shocked. It's a Chief Justice and answer because it's so shocking and very sometimes I wonder because basic element like reasoning, common sense, and then as if you see it's missing. Maybe emotions can take a better part of people. And the culture say we say when you rise to a certain position, don't allow emotions to cloud your thinking because the very moment emotions take over your head, wisdom goes on vacation. and when you're careful, it will never come back. You thrive on emotion. You even embarrass yourself without even realizing. So I think that Ghana, I like the response at various corteses and they are this whole thing. And on more Kenya, who say they goofed bad. The AG issued a statement explaining this whole thing. The AG was a bit charitable with his choice of words. I've seen a lot of big lawyers who were very angry about this because some of these things, bring it to mind. The colonial days, how you sit somewhere and somebody thinks that they can control you. I don't know whether truly this is a British Association of Lawyers or Commonwealth, but we don't care whether it is Waycry, we don't care. Because in the UK, I think they have a lot on their table to deal with when it comes to some of these human rights abuses and as for them. And your court in intervening and one can have shipping the pack Rwanda against their wishes and as for them. You will just animal with her about the cow baby there. I think they should just shut up and give us a break.
Yeah. Medical chair will take for to the matter.
Yeah.
You see, first question is Tiana UK lawyers and Commonwealth lawyers they decide, they say they have the right to determine what an independent country does. That's the first question. Now, you to me push it to the side, say just by chance. Okay. Now, we're dealing with the UK or Britain, right? Until 1957, 6 March. Now, right? On the 6th of March 1957, we said, Ghana is independence. So we had become an independent state. But you see, the history is not that straightforward. And see, yes, it's a group of lawyers from the Commonwealth. Now, mind you, Ghana is still a member of the Commonwealth, right? Until 1957, 6 March, you say Ghana be independent. But say, independent, then why was there a need for 1st July 1960?
That's a republic.
So if we were truly independent, why did we have to seek to become a republic? What I say?
Yeah.
Because on the 6th of March 1957, Ghana became independent in name, but not the head of state of Ghana was still the British Crown. And now the Queen of England was still the head of state of Ghana. And we had a prime minister who was answerable to the UK government. And 1st July 1960, we were supposed to become a republic. Net2 say we cut all ties with the British monarchy and we are self-serving and are sovereign by ourselves.
Yeah.
But this is the cunning of the British. On 2nd June 1960, that was 1 month before 1st July 1960, Omo passed an act in Parliament, in the British Parliament, called the Ghana Consequential Act. Now I'm trying to say all the laws that were pertaining to Ghana before 1960, 1st July, as if say Ghana ain't republic.
Yeah.
And see, it does not matter what you and I think. It is what is enshrined in law. Now, independence on the 6th of March 1957, it was the British Parliament that passed an act granting us our independence. Now, this is a basic fundamental rule in law. Freedoms are not given, rights are not given or taken. It is sovereign. And being to me independence, no.
Yeah.
It is not a privilege. It's a right. But I must say, the Ghana Bay on the 1st of July 1960. On the 2nd of June 1960, about 1 month to Yen Republic Day, I must say, the Ghana Bay on the 1st of July 1960. The laws pertaining to the Gold Coast will continue with Ghana as if Ghana never became independent. It is a law sitting somewhere. Yemba back to the law. Now, your Supreme Court was built on the Supreme Court Ordinance of 1876. It's a British law that established our judicial system as it stands. Now, up to 1960, so your Supreme Court, Emma ruling Bia, you can appeal it, but appeal don't mean you appeal how. It's a appeal to the Privy Council in London, even though we had a Supreme Court here. And see, the Supreme Court Ordinance of 1876, Yanya Supreme Court, the highest court on our land, was on the same jurisdictional level as a high court in England.
Okay.
And see, they did not have any direct respect for us because most Supreme Court, but high court. Because it was based on that level. Now, Omu claims that after 1960, all that was changed. You have to appeal right here. But Titi, I put it to you. Sir, the reason why your judges, 9 year lawyers, now share wig just like the British system. It's because of that umbilical cord that Yankate. And we are still very much attached to the colonial system and architecture, but we make ourselves believe that we are independent. And in this hot sun, we want justice.
We are
what time wig. Now I share wig. Now I share black coat. Because of that colonial establishment. And we don't see these things to change. Oh, Kokot, no, what's the official language there? We say Ghana is independent, but still, official language.
English.
And see, when you see a group of lawyers coming from no other place but the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, which happens to be the colonial administration for the territory called Ghana,
you know where they are coming from.
Then you know where they're coming from. And these are lawyers, they're not idiots. And so they can tell our president to do X and X and X because let's look at the office of the president. Before 57, now we had governors. Now, the last governor of Ghana before independence, Aden Clark, right? And he came from 1949 to 1957. Now, it was a civilian office. It's now a governor's office. But it is your BBO. After 1957, they changed the office from the governor of the Gold Coast to the Governor General of the Gold Coast. Why the change? And the governor is a civilian office, but the Governor General is a military office. Now, according to international law, to mean the sovereign independence country be so, it has to be by military conquest. And before 1957, it was a civilian administration because the British did not colonize Ghana through conquest. It was through treaties. And most of them to sign treaties, which said, British forever. Okay, forever.
Forever.
Obi Owusu the same way. And see, until 57, when Ghana was supposed to become an independent nation, to me Owusu a civilian governor to rule on behalf of the British Crown. Into almost signed our office and made it the Governor General's office, which was a military establishment. Now, in the thinking of the British, they had conquered Ghana by conquest. And see now, even though you are independent, we still have the Governor General here. And these are some of the nuances, of course, and then we had to move to become a republican system where we cut all ties completely with the British. And to the Governor General office, and no president. So the Governor General had direct appointing powers for the judiciary, or no appointed Chief Justice or all the courts, all the justices. It's the same thing that our president inherited. And we claim that we have separation of powers. The executive, legislature, and judiciary are supposed to be separate of each other. But you have a system where the executive, the president, appoints the head of the judiciary, which is the Chief Justice, and has the power to remove and otherwise. And see, between the Governor General's office or the Governor's office and our president right now, what's the difference?
Okay, I get you.
Cosmetic changes, but the structure is still the colonial system. And see, for a very long time, we've been calling for a new constitution. And you say, we just want to make noise or we want to just cause trouble, there be. But these are some of the issues that come up from our constitutional or our governance architecture. So if Ghana is truly independent, why do some of these things happen? Why is it that we say we are independent? Yet still, natural resources, mineral resources, are in control of 3 countries, Britain, America, and Canada. Into your gold, we are getting less than 2% of our gold. Over 98% is going to the British. Why do they feel so entitled to our land and our resources if the system is not such that they are the ones still in control? A clear case of negligence here. But say, information has been withheld from the masses of the people. And yet, Obiana, spend your time through some of these things. And see, we make a lot of noise. I heard some of the lawyers in Ghana trying to respond to this. Now, any practicing lawyer in Ghana is called to the bar. Do they know what the bar means? British Accreditation Agency, which is the appendage of the British Crown. So what are they making noise about? Every practicing lawyer who is a member of the bar, do they know what it means?
I get you correctly, it's like, until see a best samrano, said they still control us.
And it's not just their thinking, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So, and found the way we feel or what we say. we come down to the fact of the matter. What is it? Are you independent? You say yes. Are you in control of your land and your resources? No. Do you even speak your own language as your official language? No.
No.
Everything you do is in the colonial administration. So what are you independent of? Independence no. That is why this group of people will have that audacity to say they are giving issues to someone who calls himself the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces is being ordered by who? A group of lawyers.
Yeah.
But why? Why do they have that right? Why do they feel they can tell us what to do if it is not what the case is? And see, my call to the government will be simple here. When any politics are any partisan issues, any activists against the government, these are national issues. So we are building a nation.
Yeah.
And see, there are some relevant questions we have to answer. What are we doing as a nation? And this comes down to nation building, not administration or running a country, Debbie.
Yeah.
Nation building is different from winning elections or crafting policy, Debbie. Now, when we are dealing with nation building and your infrastructure and so on, say road, highways, that is not what nation building is about alone. Nation building includes education. So we have to be creating or training citizens to be able to think, innovate, and solve problems. This is part of nation building. We're supposed to have a robust healthcare system where every citizen has access to world-class healthcare. This is part of nation building. You see, we have to have a system where every Ghanaian is proud to be a Ghanaian and that there's protection for every citizen. This is a national identity. Do we have that? And as I say, we'll be a Ghanaian. What are the principles behind that identity as a Ghanaian? And see, all the things about corruption and this moral irregularities, also all those misbehaviors, is because we do not have a clear cardinal point or a true north. I say this is who a Ghanaian is, so people can aspire to those levels. We don't have that. And so you can have presidents, sitting presidents, who are supposed to be model icons, misbehaving anyhow, and nobody can hold them to account because as a people, we've not agreed what is supposed to be our national identity. Yeah. But these are the foundations of nation building. And so you look, for a very long time, our so-called leaders have only been concerned about building political parties, but not about nation building. They don't have any idea or any clue as to what it takes to build a nation. And see, if you were building a nation, you never have a situation, say, Abayin bi beba, or best started projects be in the interest of the Ghanaian people. Another government comes into power, they say, this is not my project. And you're not doing it for yourself, it is for the people of Ghana. And see, if one government is building a hospital, which is going to benefit the people of Ghana, you don't come and say, and yeah, me project, and say, no, it's not for you. It is for the people. And this is what nation building is supposed to be about. But nation building, they think it's just about occupying the positions and build your political party, which is what it is, political identity. And see, when that changes, we don't care about the people. But see, it goes out to the people of Ghana. One of the main requirements of democracy, and they say, you have to be observant and vigilant. And I say, fans, so you have to be an active participant in the governance process. And so one of the things about democracy, they say, government and now you are supposed to speak up. Because if you don't speak again in law, tacit procuration, it means what you agree. And sometimes some of us would like to speak, even say NIPA 2, 1, and 3, we like to speak, only that we put it on record. Say, who were agreeing with what was happening, so we sat quiet. No. So there's a responsibility of every Ghanaian citizen to become an active participant in this so-called democracy. Say, we have to join in one voice and say, and let us get it fixed. And this is a time where, again, this calls for patriotism. All the citizens of Ghana have to understand, say, this is a clear case of some people trying to re-establish the colonial chains on us. We've seen what has happened in most of the French African countries. They've kicked out France completely and are seeking to cut all ties with France. If we do not allow some of these things to happen, these people will still maintain the colonial structure and think they own us as property, so they can tell us what to do. But if we claim we are citizens of Ghana and that we are a sovereign, independent state, then we have to start behaving like that.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you very much. Conscious Agbenu Ahosu, I'll say Ivan Che innocent one. You can never be innocent. Oh. Conscious are they? Okay.
Filling the gap at the judiciary so that any political case against corruption, against the crime scene they created, will be nipped in the bud. That is why they pack the courts. Tell me, after packing the courts, have our legal issues as a state been resolved? There are still cases that are lingering and they have not been resolved and they need sitting and they have not been done. And this woman who tells you that she was effective, she was not. She was a partisan CJ. And me, I've said it. If I were here, I would walk out. Because what are they asking for? Immediately without delay, we should reinstate her as Chief Justice of Ghana. But if you read in your letter, you understand, you have stated that if the prima facie case has been established against somebody, then the person must go through fair trial and fair hearing. Here we have established a prima facie case. Isn't she going through fair trial and fair hearing? Why? The Scott Committee, the Pamwai Scott Committee, is it not a fair hearing? Why? What is good for the goose is equally good for the gander. Look, we will not play these tricks. We will not take anything from them. Like I told you, these associations, they are blue kiosks in London. When they close, they sit in train and go and meet and take anything, 3 shots, and then they quote portions of the law that they all understand, and then they go home drunk and singing. Beast of England, Beast of Ireland, Beast of every land they clap. Look at Jimmy. You free and you far apply and you go see law school. You defeat answer and you see law school and you see Shemra and my law. Or being free by being number one. So no one being singing. And the basis of law is mathematics. I have said it. You see, you complain about some lawyer who is empty-headed. If you go to his primary school days, he was not passing mathematics. You see it clearly. Lawyers who don't do well in court, I decided to do a research. Lawyers who don't do well in court failed their mathematics whilst going to school. Most of them. And some of them who even failed their mathematics, who took their mathematics serious, today are excelling. So mathematics, logic, psychology plays a key role, and that one comes from the home. If you answer, and the formulas are basis. Talk on what we need. As we need. Where are you running to? You are Chief Justice here, and we have suspended you. Where are you running to? The Commonwealth they have a Commonwealth. We have the same thing which is common. So running to where? We have the same thing which is common. Where are you running to? I'm asking you. Where are you running to, Madam Tokonu? When the Bonnier face justice, be bold, come and face the committee and speak up and let us hear you. But rather, a minor bra, say, my Article 146.2, who the bedroom, say, oh, baby, I want Gyamfi, and look at where you are telling your story. These people, they cannot bring you any justice. The state's committee that are set will work at Article 146. Nobody has the power. And like Edoji said, this is not a president of the Boy Scouts company. It's not the president of the Bar Association, the local one here. That involves the drunkards and the sensible ones here. He's not the president of that. He was voted by the people of the Republic of Ghana on 7 December and sworn in on 7 January. Took an oath of office to, by us, do things in our favor that will give us peace as a nation. And one of the things he's doing is to remove that unfair, unjusticiable Chief Justice who was put there by Akufo Addo, who was running a partisan show that it was clear to everybody, even kids at home. We realized that this woman, why are they Afenyo marking lawyer now? People will ask because Afenyo will come to court at 2 o'clock. By 3 o'clock they are paneled, and then what Afenyo is saying is being heeded to by the court, and she's telling everybody. We are tired of those things. We want to be at home. That when we hear judgments come from the court, we will clap at the way it has been dispensed, because it has been fair and justiciable to the ear, and even to the person who that justice is being done to, we know that you understand? Yes, that is what we must begin to look at. When we look at the courts, we must not see the courts as horror centers. She's talking about a Deuce Lodge as being a horror center. Your own courts, madam, your own courts, when people enter your courts, look at some of your judges. Even their approach to cases, they take sides. You have not been able, as Chief Justice, to even retool or even reset all those places. You want to remain where? We will not keep you there. We will not keep you. You are barely 62 years. Madam, compared to my for now. Law now swearing it was not to become Chief Justice. Now the crime you baby and with the competencies that she gave you the job. This one, it was a partisan Ejuma Edemao to come and do their bidding for them. And that's exactly what you are waiting to do. There are many people that will send to court. And they want to foil the matter using the center, which is the Chief Justice they have appointed. Why did Nanado Harodi do it? Why would he run on the back of 3 consecutive female Chief Justices? Why? I'm asking you. Mama anymore. So mama ni no aba, mama ba kumbre. We say affirmative action. For the mo person mo jibosu wo ho. We will not allow. And more so, like I said, this one is to do the bidding of the New Patriotic Party. Every morning, this woman allegedly she talks to Afenyo Marking. Every morning, oh yes, they are all in Unibat together. They talk and plan these things, but they are there now. Commonwealth for Lawyers Association. I'm telling you, if you go to London, you see their office. It's like a drinking spot. Go and check. It's like a drinking spot. But when I Danny Hennessy, me I did inside top. Oh please, and you don't know. It's look. Anybody who tells you that it's a lie and comes braggadocio, bragging and me, I can dispense that Obwa. He's a drinking partner of a judge. They meet at the lounges, they drink, and then they throw the cases. It's not all of judges. Some of them are good. I can mention some judges, even my classmates. I don't want to betray them. They are very good judges. They are doing well in Ghana here. I wish that JM will support their good work, not for partisan reasons, but for nation building and promote them. They are very good people in the system who are also doing their bits in the circuit courts, who are doing their bits in the rural areas, in the district courts and other things. You understand? So, you know, I think so they go be in Wabe. Ma, you see you. You so keke. You near the Akoyiji Mensa. You remove you. Look, we should give her time. If she does not respond, the state must take its action. Okay. And now, when you are in opposition, you are all over the place naming us. From once and then to be when you were in Abano. Ewiase wa won nama ese osunso ho na wudi ho na de bia won say adeachi ni die na mama go ye pese mi kunya wa must sleep for others mama ni we jam ko aka sa wo baabi na wuti wo na obeti jam voice a no aye na nim style bi no adan eyasemo once we do asemato and na udani wani style bi akra anyeye wani na etu no the case has eaten up. Why you blacky? Oh no, I cocoa TV so no. Why you blacky? Also, I'm going to say no, cocoa. We say as some detail you are calling you. The end of service benefits na be bono. And Juma of John and say why you get something you say, Papa no. Sure. Now, pa it's your coffee akosu. Well, one sir, everything you want, time no pon da. Concept next time when you get the chance and you get such good opportunity, you learn from others who have led you and are women who have done well and follow suit. You will not take the partisan coloration, and then when time comes and people are pointing fingers at you and calling you to come and answer for those partisan days, you will sit somewhere and be running around to people who have formed bad drinking association elsewhere in London and other places and disturbing everybody. I told you the law will be free and the Dicoseti law school. So nobody is intelligent than the other when it comes to the law. It's about logic. If A plus B is A and B, then forget B plus A is also B and A. You cannot tell me anything apart from those two things. Okay. Yes, that's how the law follows. It's yes, baby, I want to see how I could do now. I also want to be defending the law. That's about the law. There are also John and I didn't be a chief justice now, and then assent to no or one can to me now. And defending that's the nature of the law. You have to go and bring somebody. So the law is not with anybody. It's not one person's doing. That is why I disagree with her when she says the law is the law. When you say the law is the law, it means that law manipulating. But this is it. The law is the law is the law. There's somebody watching you who is managing the law in the interest of the people. So when that person gets up, you cannot be individualistic and call yourself the law is the law. No, we must open up. Those people whose authority that the constitution gives power to the president, they will have to see what that secret, the law is the law, you are doing in that office. And that's the third participle. So now, Madam Tokonu, any bad drinkers association, man, member, moon winsa, mo pon Friday, mo coffee, mo kotra baby winsa, na mo de chichiri ma we because mo cases abodi court na mo nya jaja, obetie mu. Na mo tua bribe allegedly na mo tuma win case nti mo ko winsa na mo de akofie mo ni ngwase abo me ti ya na obi ka ho shadow prime minister bi ka ho ni ngwase o ni simu hu ma ni ngwase aba maame no be yinu do be ye bia opa on 93 antonya panduri opa on 93 wa the law is the law they are say Alicia see me do come on run away.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.